Have you ever thought about how a few seconds of extreme anger can do more harm than you thought possible? Think about this: you can ruin days and hurt relationships in the time it takes to snap your fingers. It really shocks you, doesn't it? How strong and dangerous a single incident of anger can be. However, what if I told you that this same strong force, when understood and used correctly, can become a powerful tool for your own growth and strength? Today we'll learn a lot about Stoicism, an old philosophy that is still very important today. It's not enough to just get through hard times. We need to change how we react to them in order to have more peace and understanding. I want you all to join the conversation. Please leave a comment below with your thoughts and feelings about anger. If you want to learn how to control your feelings without giving in, how open are you? For those who want to learn more and push the limits of what they think they know, please subscribe, like, and share this film. Help other people learn about the power of Stoicism by spreading the word. Also, stay tuned if you're not sure what Stoicism can do for you. There are many useful ideas in this video that could make you change your mind. We will not only talk about the idea of Stoicism, but also how it can be used to control anger in real life, with examples and suggestions for what to do. The whole thing looks like it will be very educational, so stay tuned until the end to fully understand how to turn anger into a useful force. Now let's begin. Have you ever found yourself in the middle of a heated fight, your heart racing, and you were about to say something that you wish you could take back right away? That moment, that fit of rage, seems to appear out of thin air, right? We feel like a switch inside us flips. One minute everything is fine, and the next we're caught in a wave of feeling that can feel like we can't stop it. This is what I call a burst of anger, a quick outburst of anger that can mess up your day and maybe even your life. When was the last time this anger hit you? It could have been a fight with a friend or a bad day at work. We've all been through it. Anger isn't just a feeling, it's a reaction that can make you do bad things and say hurtful things. And let's be honest, it often leaves a lot of damage behind, like stressed relationships and missed chances to connect and understand each other. What if I told you there was another way to deal with this burst? The wise way of Stoicism comes into play here. The Stoics teach us that we can't always change what happens, but we can change how we react to it. It's not about hiding your anger or acting like it doesn't exist. It's about realizing when it's about to come out and making a different choice. Stoicism gives us ways to stop, think, and act instead of reacting. We learn to understand and be aware of our anger by asking ourselves, why am I angry? What caused this reaction? When we ask these questions, we start to take back control from our automatic responses and learn how to handle our feelings in a healthier way. This method doesn't say that our feelings aren't real. Instead, it gives us the tools to deal with them in a clear and strong way. It's about making a moment of choice out of what seems like an explosion you can't stop. Just remember that every time you feel angry, it's not just a feeling, it's a chance to grow and show the Stoic virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. Stoicism is an old theory that has stood the test of time. It gives us a new way to look at our feelings, especially things as strong and changing as anger. What do the Stoics say about being angry? To put it simply, they think that anger comes from how we think about and respond to things that happen to us, not from what happens to us. Now, you might be wondering how that helps me when I'm crazy mad. Stoicism says that the most important thing is to know that we can question and change our first responses. For example, you might get angry right away if someone cuts you off in traffic. Your mood is off for a few hours, and your heart starts to beat fast. You might yell or make hand gestures at the other car. But here's the Stoic twist: you don't give in to your anger. Instead, you pause. You think about what makes you mad. Does it really have to do with the other driver, or is it because you let their acts bother you? This thought is at the heart of the Stoic way of dealing with anger. It means taking a step back and asking, what can I control? There's nothing you can do about the traffic, the other driver, or the fact that you were cut off. You can choose how you react, though. This doesn't mean you don't feel the feeling, it just means you're aware of it and choose not to let it control what you do. Stoicism tells us that our feelings, even anger, should serve as guides rather than masters. They let us know that something is going on that might need our attention, but they shouldn't make us act in an impulsive way. When we look at anger through this Stoic view, It's not so much about being angry and controlling it. You're not suppressing your feelings because you're not rejecting or ignoring them. Instead, you're recognizing them, thinking about them, and then choosing how to move forward. This point of view gives you a lot of power. If you can get good at this silent practice, how many things will be less stressful for you? How much more effectively could you talk to people? How could you make your life even more peaceful? As we talk more, I'd like you to think about the Stoic idea that virtue is the only good. This doesn't just mean having high moral standards, it also means living in a way that makes sense and is smart, even when you're angry or upset. By working to be good, we can turn our angry reactions that could be harmful into actions that are good and in line with our core values. As we talk about these ideas, keep in mind that Stoicism isn't just about getting through hard times, it's also about living in them. Using our inner strength and knowledge to control our anger doesn't mean we never get angry, it just means being able to handle how we react when we do. Here is a plan that you can follow to have a more controlled response when you want to lose control in anger. First, you need to notice when you're getting angry. It is very important. Stoicism teaches us to pay attention to how we feel inside. Pay attention to when your body starts to feel angry. It's possible that your heartbeat speeds up, your breathing gets shallow, or you clench your hands. These are the signs your body is sending you that it's time to act. When you see these signs, you should take a moment to think. This is where Stoicism really shows its strength. Stoic emperor and philosopher Marcus Aurelius said it was important to take a moment to separate our first emotions from the things we choose to do. By stopping, you give yourself a chance to think about how you feel without reacting right away. This doesn't have to be long, a few seconds can make a big difference sometimes. Use this time to think about what you've just said. Ask yourself what's making you mad. Are you upset because your hopes weren't met? Does it bother you that you feel slighted? Being able to answer why you are angry can help you deal with the cause, not just the symptoms. In this step, you'll learn how to answer with reason instead of emotion. Let us now talk about reevaluating the issue, which is a classic Stoic method. To do this, you have to reframe the event that made you angry. If someone does something that makes you angry, for example, don't see it as a personal attack. Instead, think of other reasons why they did it. They may not be aware of the effects of their activities or be having a bad day. This change in point of view can make your anger a lot less intense. Focusing on what you can control is another useful step. As the Stoics say, there is a clear line between what we can control and what we can't. You can't change what other people do, what happened in the past, or what has already happened, but you can change how you react, what you think, and what you do from now on. Putting your attention on these things makes you feel less useless and frustrated, which are emotions that often make people angry. Using methods to calm down is also very important. Once you've taken a moment to think, do something like take a deep breath, count to 10, or even leave the situation if you can. These techniques don't just help you calm down, they also give your logical mind time to take back control from your emotional mind. Lastly, make it a habit to think often. Stoicism isn't just about being calm in the present, it's also about getting ready for problems that might come up in the future. Think about your day or how you handled certain scenarios on a regular basis. What made you so angry? How did you deal with it? How could you do it better next time? Doing this over and over again makes you stronger and gives you better ways to deal with your anger. By doing these things every day, you become more in line with Stoic ideas. This means that every angry outburst becomes a chance for you to learn and grow. Remember that the goal is not to get rid of all your anger, but to control it so that it doesn't control you. Every step you take is a step toward more than just peace. It's also a step toward better understanding in life. Let's look more closely at how we can demonstrate Stoicism, especially when it comes to turning our angry feelings into chances to learn and grow. Stoicism is more than just staying calm when you're angry, it's about turning your anger into something positive. The idea that every problem can be used as a chance to practice virtue is one of the most powerful Stoic ideas. Getting angry, like any other problem, forces us to be patient, brave, and smart. When you feel angry, ask yourself, what am I learning from this anger? It could be telling you that your goals are too high, or that you need to learn how to better understand how others feel. Take, for instance, a case at work where you're constantly annoyed by what a coworker does. Don't let this turn into anger or hatred. Instead, use it as a reason to stay calm. Work out. You can use every situation as a chance to learn patience, talk about your feelings in a healthy way, or set clear limits. In this situation, anger is a sign that something needs your attention, maybe a part of how you react that you can change and make better. To turn anger into a chance, you need to work on both controlling your outbursts and developing the calm that comes from accepting things as they are. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up, it means realizing that things are the way they are and adjusting to them, accepting that you can't change some things, like other people's actions or the random events that happen in life, frees you from having to try to make things different. Accepting things as they are can help a lot with anger. Stoicism can also be used in real life by turning the obstacle upside down, as Marcus Aurelius put it. When something gets you mad, it's a chance to flip the situation around and learn something good from it. This could mean getting better at communicating, making more realistic goals, or even just learning more about what sets you off. Every time you get angry, you can turn it over and find a lesson or a way to get better at controlling yourself. As part of Stoic practice, we also think about how our feelings change over time. When it hits, anger is strong and takes over, but it goes away like everything else. This is something that you can remember to help you feel less angry. Thinking to yourself, "This too shall pass," and focusing on staying calm in the present moment can help you know that your anger will lessen over time. Finally, teach other people these things. Stoicism teaches that knowledge is not just for yourself, but for everyone to share. You can help other people see their problems in a new way by talking about how you turned an angry moment into a chance to learn. This not only helps you learn more, but it also helps other people, turning your personal growth into shared knowledge. As we go about our days, let's try to see everything that makes us angry as a chance to use Stoic knowledge, become better people, and help make the world a calmer, more logical place. It's about taking those angry times and turning them into something that makes our lives and the lives of those around us better. Stoicism is more than just learning how to control our anger. It's also about discovering strength and resolve in ourselves that we may not have known we had. When we talk about strength in Stoicism, we mean having the power to live our lives with a stable sense of purpose, peace, and perspective, no matter what is going on around us. Stoicism tells us that the only way to really be strong is to come from within. It's not based on outside approval or events. Instead, it relies on our capacity to manage how we react to the world around us. Think about this: how often have you felt like your emotions controlled you and threw you around by anger, frustration, or disappointment? Stoicism shows a different way. We are asked to take a step back and think, can I choose a different response? Do I have the power to turn this around? Most of the time, the answer is yes. Focusing on what we can control is a Stoic practice that helps us feel more in control of our lives. What other people say or do is out of your control, as is the past. You also have no control over the world events that affect your life. You can change what you think, what you do, and how you react, though. When you really believe this, every time you feel frustrated or angry, it turns into a chance to use this concept. You start to see problems as chances to use your freedom and independence. For example, Stoicism gives you the power to choose a reaction that is in line with your values when you're in a tough situation that makes you angry. You don't have to reply on the spot. You can respond with thought and honesty. You could take a deep breath and decide to talk about a disagreement in a calm way, or you could decide to leave a setting that you don't want to be a part of. Stoicism also gives us power by changing how we deal with our feelings. We learn to see our anger as a normal emotion that we can watch, understand, and control instead of letting it take over us. Emotional intelligence changes more than just how we talk to each other. It changes how we live our lives. We become more robust and adaptable when we're not thrown off by every emotional upheaval. We can do well in a wide range of situations. Self-reflection, which is a Stoic exercise, can also give you power. Just by regularly looking at our decisions, actions, and responses, we learn more about who we are and why we do the things we do. This habit of reflection not only helps us make better choices in the future, but it also helps us become more self-aware and accept ourselves more deeply. We learn to trust ourselves and rely on our inner guide instead of letting every storm knock us off balance. Finally, Stoicism can help you feel more powerful by making a difference in the world. Stoicism tells us that we are all connected and that the choices we make affect other people. We can help make the world more peaceful and logical by choosing to act in cool and sensible ways. People look up to us because we show them that it is possible to handle life's problems with kindness and strength. When we practice Stoicism, we gain a strong ally in our search for a happy and balanced life. As we go on this trip, let's remind ourselves of the immense strength we already have, which can be used by applying the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. Controlling our anger isn't the only thing we need to do. We also need to find a level of inner power and resilience that changes every part of our lives. Do not try to hide how you feel. Instead, learn to understand and control your feelings in a healthy and useful way. Stoicism gives us the tools to not only face our feelings, but also change the way we deal with all emotions, especially difficult ones like anger. Let us break this down a bit. One of the main ideas behind Stoicism is that our feelings are mostly caused by the things we think and believe. Most of the time, we get angry because we think someone or something has hurt us, that something is unfair, or that things should not be the way they are. We have a great chance here. If we can change how we think, then we can change how we feel. To get control of our feelings, we must first look at these decisions with a critical eye. You should ask yourself, why do I think this is bad? Is it something I can control? Could I take a different look at this? Stoic practice is based on this kind of thinking, which helps people become more emotionally flexible, which can be very freeing. Take the example of being stuck in traffic. You start to feel that familiar rise in anger. A calm attitude would tell you to think about how frustrated you are. You might ask yourself, being mad won't make the traffic go away. Could I use this time for something useful instead? Now might be a good time to listen to a podcast or MP3 book. The issue hasn't changed at all, but the way you see it and how you feel about it have. This is where the idea of amor fati, which means love of fate, comes in. This Stoic way of thinking tells you to see everything as a chance. It's not just accepting things as they are, it's deeply appreciating life as it is, even when it changes in ways you didn't expect. You'll be able to control your anger better and feel a deep peace when you practice amor fati. This peace comes from knowing that you can handle anything that comes your way. Stoicism is also a way to control your feelings by building up a strong inner strength. You become a better person every time you choose not to lose your temper. You start to know yourself as someone who can be counted on, is stable, and stays cool. This trust within is very important. It's what makes self-esteem and honesty possible. Also, don't forget how important it is to be ready. Stoics believe that you should always be ready for what could go wrong. This is not gloom, it's common sense. By planning ahead for how you will handle scenarios that could make you angry or frustrated, you give yourself a set of tools for managing your emotions. You're not caught off guard when those times come up because you have a plan and habits in place, like taking deep breaths, changing the way you think, or taking a step back to see things more clearly. And to master your feelings with Stoicism, you have to think about yourself, practice, and grow over the course of your life. Being consistent, being honest with yourself, and having the courage to deal with our feelings in a very different way are all things that are needed. But the benefits are huge. You not only learn to control your anger and other feelings, but you also develop a calm and strong spirit that can make your life a lot better. Let us keep looking into these practices together so that we can keep getting smarter and calmer. Let's end today's lesson on how to control our feelings with Stoicism. Remember that the road to inner peace isn't always easy, but each step you take makes you stronger. Thanks for coming to Wisdom World with me. This town is truly unique because of people like you who live and work here. Check out the movie on your screen next if you want to learn more about the wisdom of Stoicism. Come on. Let's keep growing together by facing obstacles and seeing them as chances to improve ourselves. We'll see you there, and thanks again for being a part of this trip.